Ahoy, ladies and gents, welcome. Here I am. Let me just get my mic sorted. Right. What's going on? What's going down in Chinatown? It's the BBC Spews. It's live and it's the 20th of July. Huzzah. Before I get into this one, I can do you a name check. It's pretty quiet today, obviously, because I had a day off. The mob is fickle. The mob is fickle, ladies and gentlemen. Hello to Professor Andy, Ragnar, Alan, Sean Ryan, Mark McCoy, Two Tone, Gordon Hamilton, Tomo, Scouse Orbie, Ben Jones, Whiskey Straight Al, he's always in. David Bruce, Loan, Slim, Heather McGregor, Sad Wings is in, Bailey Gregory, Mark Thompson, Trevor Rapley, Stevie on the Sash, Davy Boy, you codhead twat, Aaron Williams, Manda Sky, Teresa, Anthony Kirkwood, Sid Putin, Rosebuds, Ralphie Cray, Kit Kat, Shiners, and Zed. Matt, do a Scottish accent. Pass me that bucky or I'll fucking kill you. There you go. The bucky. That's, of course, I had to make a cheap, snide remark about the bucky. Let me put my headphones in. I'm going to listen to some stuff today because I've been poking around on libs of TikTok again. Fuck me. I'll tell you what. You have never seen so many degenerate freaks as you see on that channel. No wonder libs of TikTok's wildly popular. Honestly, absolute fucking mutants. So let's do this one. It's more BBC bollocks, you know, left wing propaganda. Uncertainty. Oh, it's so hard being a fucking woke cunt in the 2022. Oh, how do we deal with it? You wouldn't know what hard work was if you picked up a fucking breeze block and caved your skull in with it. Speaking of hard work, yeah, carrying breeze blocks, that's hard work. Sitting on your fat ass in an air-conditioned office, having a chai latte and talking shit about the other girls in the office around the water cooler for fucking 4 hours of your work day. That's not working. It's not working hard. Get on your hands and knees and crawl through the sewers, chiseling Johnnies off the walls like blokes do in a Victorian sewage system in London. That's working. These woke, white-collar arseholes. That was the point I tried to make on the video I made yesterday, and I didn't fully elucidate on it because I was pushed for time. But the rant, I added it as text at the end, but nobody reads that. I know you're all lazy bastards. Nobody reads anymore, so I'll do it vocally now. The point I was trying to make in that was the reason left-wing arseholes are filled with this fake compassion for, the poor benefit, the poor people on benefits, is because they don't work for a living. And if you do as much work as that girl that we saw in the video from last week, fucking Natasha Badger does absolutely no work. You don't get angry and bitter and resentful. When I used to come home, right? I used to come home from work after a fucking 7 hours carrying shit up the stairs covered in coal dust. And when you're coming home and you're walking home from the local after a couple of much needed pints, and you're walking past lads in the front garden in the council estate, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're all shiters passed out on the front garden with cans everywhere because they've just been sitting on deck chairs getting pissed and having a barbie while you were at work. You get angry. You don't. If you're like Natasha Badger and you spent the whole day enjoying yourself, getting paid to enjoy yourself, doing your fucking ABBA sing-alongs and having your chai matcha latte, homemade fucking cherry infused, whatever that shit was. Oh, it's a black cherry mojito today with your fucking eucalyptus towel on your face. That's not working. And then you go to the bar at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go on the piss for 10 hours with all your workmates, putting it on your expenses. So you've got no time to get angry and resentful about it. But when you work in class and you'd like a window cleaner or a plumber or a bricklayer or a bus driver, and you do a normal 8 hours at work from 8 till 4, and then you're driving home at 4:30 after another hard day, and you just see Somalians smoking fucking doobies on the front porch of the council house that they don't pay any rent for, but you do. And they get council tax benefits and you don't. and they get a mobile phone given to them for now, but you don't. It makes you very fucking angry. I talked about this when I was living back in England last year. I wasn't actually making that much money. I had a good job. My salary started at 30k, like flat, which isn't a lot, but it's not bad. You know, like I said, that was more of a labour of love rather than a money thing. I just always wanted to work for Games Workshop, so I took that gig. It was 30 grand a year flat rate, decent money, but after you've paid rent, council tax, mobile phone bill, car insurance, petrol, food, fucking all that, suddenly you haven't got that much money. You've actually got a budget. I'm not pleading poverty, by the way, because I do hate people that make it like they've got no money. I didn't have no money, and I was living on my own. So, like, I hate these fucking, again, usually benefits people who are like, oh, yeah, Jesus, I've got no money, fucking hell. Turkey dinosaurs don't cook themselves, you know. Bollocks. This is why working class people get so angry, because the only ones who fall for it are middle class arseholes who don't do their own budgeting, who don't need to budget because they make so much money. You know what I mean? Kathy Newman doesn't need to budget. Kathy Newman's not going, oh, it's 45 quid for my phone bill. And if I do rent and council tax and blah, 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 because this is what we all do, normal people, innit? You go, right, I mean, I'll just pull numbers out the air, like what I was earning there. Let's say I was getting about 1,500 quid a month in my bank. And then you're thinking to yourself, right, so rent's 650, and then council tax 780, and then phone bill, and then insurance, and then you sort of go, right, so really I've only got about 400 quid for the month for food and booze. So I'll stretch that out, and then basically I'll have 100 quid a week for enjoying myself. That's how a normal person does a budget. And when you're going, oh yeah, I basically have to only live off £100 a week to enjoy myself, but the dole scum and the gimmigrants aren't going to work, and they've basically got about the same amount of money. I remember reading one of them pleading poverty in Middlesbrough, some Somalian bloke who was like, oh, it is hard, you know. I only really get £30 a week to live off after all my outgoings. It's like, yeah, but they're paying your rent, they're paying your council tax, they give you a phone, you're getting £30 a week, which is not loads, but you could make it work. If I'm working full time, getting a decent salary, and I've only got £100 a week, so I'm 70 quid a week off better than you, but I've paid into the system and I'm paying taxes up my arse, and you never have, and you're only 70 quid a week worse off than me. Well, then I hate you. I'd rather swap with you. You do fucking full-time work and you have 100 quid a week to spend, and I'll do absolutely nothing and I'll have 30 quid a week to spend, and I'll stretch that out. I love sitting on my fat ass all day, and I'll just go to Aldi and Netto and spend like 15 quid a week on food and 15 quid a week on booze, and I'll get shit-faced. I'll just get a 24 cans of shite and drink that all fucking weekend, and I'll be quite happy on 30 quid a week. I'd rather do that for 30 quid a week for now than 100 quid a week working full time. That's the basic maths that normal working class people do. Sadwings, I'll answer that so you don't have to deal with shite in the text. Council tax is the British version of, well, I suppose it'd be the British version of property tax. And let me tell you, again, Sadwings always flag waving for the Americans. Let me tell you, we're now looking into purchasing a house out here because we're quite happy where we've moved to. Nice and quiet. The Americans do property tax, which is the most un-American fucking thing I've ever heard of. It's absolute daylight robbery. But basically, we don't have property tax. You don't pay property tax in England every single year as a percentage of your property. You pay council tax. So depending on the value of your property, it's like from band F or whatever it is up to band A. And you typically pay, well, I had a 1-bedroom flat in Nottingham, and I was paying like 130 quid a month council tax. And that's meant to be prepared for, you know, all the local facilities, the roads, the fucking bin men, the garbage men, the coppers, the fire department, all of that shit. But the Americans love God, but my missus is like, fucking hell, council tax. And then I moved over here and I realised, you know, if we buy a place out here in California, right? Let's say you buy a place up. I mean, you need 500 grand for a normal 2/3 bedroom place out here because it's nice. It's expensive. They take 0.75% a year property tax off you. So basically, if you buy a fucking house for 500 grand, you end up giving tens of thousands of dollars to the government every single year in property tax. Basically, if you keep the house 30 years, you've gave them fucking 500 grand. So I think, as much as the Americans like to gob off about it, I think property tax is even worse than council tax. But essentially, Sadwings, that's what council tax is. It's basically your property tax. It's what the local government take off you when you live in a house. Because you live in a house. I mean, fucking, again, I thought America was meant to be land of the free. They should take off "In God We Trust" off the money and put "fuck you, pay me," because property tax is the most un-American thing I've ever heard of. At least with council tax, it's like, it's just a flat rate for the year, and it's robbery, probably like $2 grand a year or something, if for the average person. But fucking hell, 0.75% of like $500,000 every single year for your entire life is fucking daylight robbery. Absolute daylight robbery. So basically, as I said, we're all getting fisted. And exactly that's what Blue Van Man said. Don't give them fuck all. Don't give them fuck all. And this is what I'm saying. So the point I was trying to make in that video, and I'm bouncing all over the place answering questions. Yeah, that's the maths normal people do. Normal people are basically doing what I just did there. If you're good with money, you do what I do. If you're terrible with money, like several people I know, you're just fucking getting massive amounts of debt. I never get in debt, ever. Like at the end of every month, I've always got £1 left in the bank because I budget effectively. But essentially, that's what normal people do, isn't it? You do mortgage or rent, council tax, lecky, gas, phone bill, PESA, car insurance, the lot. And you figure it all out, and then you end up with a number, and you're like, shit, I'm up to £897 a fucking month, and I only earn £1,300 a month. Therefore, I've basically got to make sure I only spend 80 quid a week. And if you're Cathy Newman or Owen fucking Jones or some other left-wing middle class doesn't work for a living daft cunt, you don't do that. You spend all day sipping your chai lattes and going, oh, won't somebody think of the doilies? Fuck the doilies. The one thing the Americans have got right is that, right? Well, no, there's plenty of things. Buying, living in an RV, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Sadwings. Anything to dodge it. I fucking hate giving the man the money. So I'm saying why I respect the Americans. If I was over here as a colonist, I'd be a colonial bastard. Because why? You don't want to ever give the government any money. I think this is why the Brits aren't sour about the American Revolution either, because we know for a fact if we were living here, we'd fucking go against them. You don't want to give the man the money. I mean, it turns out it was all a sham. It wasn't about freedom. It was about who do you pay the money to? And the people living in the colonies wanted you to give them the money instead of the cunts back in England. But either way, we'd have been against it, wouldn't we? Because who wants to give the man money? The state is essentially a fucking racket. Like, this is why, like I said, I'm a libertarian by American standards. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. The state is just a fucking racket. They just rob you. They rob you and they tell you that you need them. The Libertarian Party said it best. I retweeted on my Twitter. They said the state is a band of criminals posing as a service provider, and they rob you and all your neighbours to fund their fucking nefarious deeds and then shamelessly claim that you'd be lost without them. That's exactly what the state is. Criminals posing as a service provider. They steal your money off you. It's like if me and Sadwings meet in a car park, because this is what a shop is. A grocery shop is just a bloke, especially a mom and pop, and they're just selling you stuff. If me and Sadwings meet in a car park and he says, do you like this lamp? And I go, yeah, I do. I'll give you $20 for it. And he hands me the lamp and I hand him the $20. And then a twat in a suit just turns up and goes, oh, yeah, you owe me 10. Why? Just give them a percentage of everything. What the fuck work did they do? It's a racket. And that's what makes me laugh about the Americans. At least in Britain, the people in Britain know that they're slaves to the system. In America, they still labour under the delusion that we're all free as fuck. And like I said, we're slightly more free than in Europe. But America's not a free country either, is it? It's the tallest midget in the room, America. It's slightly more free than Britain. You can say a little bit more, and you can do a little bit more in some ways, but you're still not free. The state robs us. Property. You think you're a free person in America? Try not paying your property tax. See what fucking happens. It's absolutely shocking. And that's what annoys me about the state. Again, it's old news in Britain, but it's the same here. What do we need them for? I've talked about this before. I should be able to opt out of paying fucking tax because I never use them. I never use them. Ever. I don't ring the police. I don't call the fire department. I'll take my own fucking trash out. I don't need them. They just rob me. I go to work and they just steal money off me. I buy something, they take 10%. They're like the fucking mafia. I don't need them. They provide me with nothing. I can take care of myself. I've got my own gun. I'm not worried about crime, mugging, robbery. I don't need them. But they'll tell me I need them. Oh, you definitely need us. Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. You definitely need us. What? I'm smart and athletic and physically capable and intelligent and I take care of myself. And you're two fucking useless, bone-idle geriatrics who do nothing. And I need you. Do I? I need you. If we were Native Americans, I would have sent those two cunts off to die in the middle of the desert 10 years ago. They're useless. They're a drain on all of us. And the state are exactly that. The scum, the degenerate fucking scum that run the show in the UK and the United States, the politicians and the House of Lords and the fucking Capitol Hill, and they are the lawmakers, the civil servants, they are fucking rat, parasite bastards. We don't need them. Super chat. Paz wants to do a show with you on my channel if you're up for it, Matt. Of course I am. Of course I am. I like Paz and I like you, mate. Whenever you want. PM me on WhatsApp and we'll set it up. Preferably Sunday morning for me. I guess Sunday evening for you. But we can do it Saturday morning as well. Saturday evening. Mornings on a weekend. Easy. We'll do it. But yeah, they're doing my head in. And this is true. But that's what I'm saying about them robbing us. They create the problems and then they tell us that we need them. It's like David Icke said about the totalitarian two-step. Problem, reaction, solution. It's true, isn't it? Again, I used to laugh at David Icke 5 years ago. But the more you age, the more you learn, the more you know. That's exactly what they do. Problem, reaction, solution. They create all these fucking problems. Like Russell Brand and the lefty daft cunts have always said, the one thing they're right on. Of course they do. The right and the left should be in unison on this. The state doesn't have our best interests at heart. They create the problems. They cause the wars. Look at Iraq. How much did we spend on dropping bombs on babies in Iraq? It was all a farce. It was all a lie. We didn't need to go to Iraq. We didn't need to leave all of that blood and treasure in Iraq. We didn't need to bomb the fucking babies. Napalm, sticks like glue, burns old women and the babies too. You know, we didn't need to go to fucking Vietnam. It's bollocks. The state creates all of these problems so they can rob us. And then those fucking parasites. Biden's the worst. Biden's the worst. I hate him. I argue with my missus about this. She was like, Trump and Biden are exactly the same. I was like, no. Trump's a bit of a cunt. And he got all his money off his dad. And he didn't make it all himself. He's not a self-made man. He got it all off his dad. But at least he got it off his dad. I think that's better. Like, if you get your money off your dad, yeah, you're a silver spoon fucking asshole. But at least it's off your dad. Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi stole all the money off me, off the taxpayers, off Sadwings, off anybody who works for a fucking living. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Rich arseholes are born into it. I can get away with that. I don't care. But politicians steal it off us. We have to go to work for a bastard living and they just rob us blind. Joe Biden is fucking scum. He's never done a day's work in his life. He's never had a real job. Joe Biden literally did education, politics. That's all he's done. So every penny he's ever made has been through corruption, stealing off the taxpayers or stealing off other taxpayers, i.e. Chinese taxpayers, Ukrainian fucking taxpayers, Saudi taxpayers, anybody else who throws money at him because he's in a position of authority. These people are just fucking rats. I hate them. Anyway, that was like a 25-minute rant about taxation, but it does my head in. That is all I'm getting at. The state of criminals that pose as a service provider. It should be 75% of the size that it is. Again, because I'm not an anarcho-capitalist, but the state should be 75% of the size that it is. Just shave at least half of them then. I'll meet you halfway, 50% of them. We need 50% less politicians, lords, bureaucrats, civil servants, the fucking lot. Just fucking bin them. They do nothing. Do you remember when Pretty Shitty tried to get rid of Philip Rutnam? Philip Rutnam is a man, a fucking snake that has been on the taxpayer's tit. Let me Google him. For his entire fucking career, right? And as soon as she tried to sack him because he's grossly incompetent, here he is, this fucking dickhead. I'm sure none of you will have heard of him, but, you know, Bootneck's a boring cunt. Essentially, Philip Rutnam was the Under-Secretary of State at the Home Office. And he was completely incompetent. For that 3 years, everything he touched, he fucked up. There he is. Fucking baldy, cue-ball, geggy, fucking sex pest, chinless wonder, turtle-faced cunt that he is. He was completely incompetent, totally useless, overpaid, failed the British people, failed the nation. And then when they sacked him, he got paid 376 grand plus a £30,000 for his legal costs. So sacking the useless fucking rat bastard cost us nearly £500,000. This is what you're up against. This is what you're up against. This is why you end up with fascists when you get totally failed by the centres, by the centrists. If you get a mad cunt turn up, if you get a Mussolini turn up, a fucking Pinochet, and he says, you know what? They're taking the piss out of you. And this is what I keep saying about horseshoe theory. The hardcore commies and the hardcore fascists are exactly the same. They do, the commies go bullet in the head for the ruling class because fuck them. And the fascists go bullet in the head for the ruling class because fuck them. It's the same thing. That's what you get. If some hardcore fascist comes in, he'd go, right, Philip Rutnam, plumbers and bricklayers of the nation, should we just fucking give him a good shoeing and take all his money and his house off him? And the general public will go, yeah, because they take the piss out of us constantly. This man took the piss out of all of us. He failed the nation. He fucked it. He shit the bed. These are the people who okay the visas for Salman Abedi and his jihadi parents. So his parents are jihadis. They move to Britain, go, oh, yeah, we use jihadi in it. And we go, yeah, have a council house in Manchester. Matty will feed them. Matty will keep grafting to pay their fucking lecky bill. Matty will pay for all their turkey fucking Twizzlers. Yeah, obviously they can't eat pork. Matty will buy all their Bernard Matthews turkey drumsticks and the fucking pot noodles, and he'll pay the council tax bill, and he'll get the mortgage. He'll sort it all out, Matty. Work, Matty. Work, you can't. There's these Libyan fucking fanatics need to be feeding the kids, don't they? So we do it. And we graft our tits off and we feed these shitbags, and then they blow up a load of fucking children and women and kids and fucking babies. And then we go, oh my God, I can't believe the Home Office was fucking okaying visas for known jihadis and terrorists and killers. And then we fed them. And then our Navy brought their children home safely from Libya. And then they go and kill a load of women and kids and babies. You know what? I think you're shit at your job, mate. I think we've paid for 25 years to feed and clothe and house people that have then used that kindness to murder our women and children. I think you should get sacked, mate. I mean, it's dead women and kids. It's dead women and kids. We should basically sack you. And then he goes, oh, you owe me 500 grand, you cunts. Yeah? And you wonder why the system's failing and why the fucking centrists are going, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Get me a lunatic. Get me a lunatic who says, you know what, I'm going to fucking bulldoze the Home Office while it's fucking full. And this is what people like me have been saying for 10 years. If you don't embrace, listen to, and address the logical, reasonable criticisms of the normal, vocal, working class majority, they will turn their backs on you and they will embrace the unreasonable. Reasonable criticisms. Why are we paying for degenerate third world men to come into the country? Why are we allowing known jihadis to settle in Manchester? Why are we paying their bills? Why are we feeding their jihadi children? Why are we paying their fucking council tax? Why? And if you go, la, 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 fingers in my ears, fuck you, racist, sexist, homophobe, and then they kill all the kids and they kill all the babies and they turn on the TV and there's a fucking bloke going, Halahu, bastard hackbar, stabbing women in the face and blowing little kids up, little Safi, fucking 9-year-old girl gets spread across the fucking Manchester arena because of this baldy cunt. All of a sudden you go, you know what? I'll just vote for the lunatic. Please present lunatic. Benito turns up and says, right, we'll gas them all. And then the centrist, formerly centrist majority goes, well, I suppose I'll reluctantly vote for the lunatic. And lo and behold, here we fucking are. Here we are, where everyone now is pissed off. The Tories are fucked because they've got no interest in saving the country or the party. Tories are fucked. 2024, you're going to get the mad commies in, and then you get an extra 4 years of this shit. 2028, lunatic. You saw it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe the Continentals will beat us to it because they always embrace fucking collectivism and totalitarianism before we do. Maybe the Germans or the frogs or the Italians will beat us to the punch. But it's coming. You can't take the piss out of the general public as much as this baldy fucking geggy cunt has done and let your children get slaughtered in the streets and expect the general public to keep going, yeah, milquetoast lefty, yeah, milquetoast conservative. Really? Dead kids? Emily Jones got her fucking nut lopped off in the middle of a play park. Lee Rigby getting decapitated in the streets of London. How many do you want me to reel off? And when it kicks off, they'll go, whoa, where did this come from? We didn't see this coming. Little blonde girls getting their fucking throats cut in the middle of the park. Young lads, British soldiers getting decapitated in the middle of London. Safi getting scattered across the fucking Manchester Evening News Arena. Truck attacks, massacres, bombings, disabled kids getting bayoneted in the fucking Bataclan. And when it kicks off, they'll go, whoa, this is weird. Why is there an angry mob want to kick Philip Rutnam to fucking bits? Why? What's caused this? Weird, eh? Weird. Something about little blonde girls getting fucking the throats sliced by mentally ill foreigners. Yeah, something about that sort of upsets people. Weird, that, innit? Weird. So anyway, that's my rant over. I'm fucking pissed off talking about it. I didn't know he got that much. That's why I'm angry. £400,000. He basically enabled the murder of British women and children. And when we wanted to sack the sack of shit, we had to pay him £500 million for the privilege. I wouldn't give him a fucking Twix and his bus fare home. Fucking, honestly, I can't, it fucking enrages me. So let's just change the subject completely. What about, let's go and have a look at Libs of TikTok. That'll bring my blood pressure down and give me a laugh. Have a sip of tea. I've got to be at like 190 over 120 for my BP now. There's that good post from Libertarian Pie. The state is a band of criminals posing as a service provider, robs you and your neighbours to fund its crimes, and shamelessly claims you'll be lost without it. Exactly right. Let's have a look for Libs of TikTok. I do like them. I noticed there's fake account doing them now as well, so they're trying to guide you in the wrong direction. Here we are. Yeah, I've seen a good one. The other day. Hopefully the sound works. Look at that one. An open secret. Fucking, oh no, I feel an aneurysm coming on again. At least 181 K-12 educators charged with child sex crimes. See, this is actually funny. As long as no one gets killed, I'm thinking at least with a lot of therapy, these kids can be all right. As long as they don't get their throat slashed, I can see the funny side. You know, that's what I try to do. But just to keep sane. But how funny is that? Like, people like us have been saying for years, why are you letting sexual deviants groom children in schools? Like, the one place they're supposed to be safe is in schools. And they just don't listen. Again, they're like Philip Rutnam. La, 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 la. Dead kids, dead. La, 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 la. This is what they're doing. So 181 arrested in the first half of the fucking year. You have to laugh. Or it'll drive you wild. 77% involved sex crimes against students. Of course they did. They're not really interested in teaching them maths. You silly bastards. At least 181, including 4 principals, arrested on child sex-related crimes, ranging from child pornography to raping students. Fucking brilliant. 153 teachers, 4 principals, 12 teachers' aides, 12 substitute teachers. This fucking Gary Glitter's feeling a bit under pressure, and he's like, whoa, they're stealing my work, these cunts. At least 140 of the arrests involved sex crimes against students. Right, so basically, you want to know why this type of shit's happening? Well, I'll show you why. Because of people like this. Because of people like this running your schools. Here we are. Let's listen. Is the audio on?
A little bit about what it wanted to make a video talking a little bit about what it's like being a teacher and being openly queer, and sharing that part of myself with my students and my colleagues, because it's a really vulnerable position to be in, where you're continuously choosing to share parts of yourself with your community, especially.
They're not the community. They're not your community. They're your fucking students, you absolute degenerate. They're your students. Just because you're a highly sexed fucking pill-popping leather with a clit like Rocky's Speedball doesn't mean that you should be talking to the kids about it. Why do they do it? Never once. This is why older people get so angry, because we're talking about our lived experience. They love going on about fucking lived experience. Well, here's mine, you cunts, because they make out like lived experience is everything, don't they? They don't care about fact or logic or data. They just get lived experience, which is why they come out with that fucking bullshit. Like, oh, think about it. They went on about how good, much of a good president Barack Obama was, right? Barack Obama wasn't a gay man. So under their current standards, if they say, oh, well, Barack Obama doesn't know what it's like to be a gay man, because they keep going on about it. Oh, you don't know what it's like to be a black man. You don't know what it's like to be a willy wofter. You don't know what it's like to go fucking scissor-tastic every night with your big fat skinhead girlfriend. You don't need to. You don't need to do any of that. All you have is a fully functioning brain. I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to be upset. I know what it's like to be angry. I know what it's like to feel like I'm a victim, right? I got my head smashed in when I was 14 by 2 fucking hooligans. One of them had a sock with snooker balls in it, like they'd seen it on Scum. So I've got the scar on my head there. You can see it. A ball patch there. Anyway, I know what it's like to get fucked up. It's shit. You don't have to be the thing that the woke lunatics say you have to be. All you have to have is emotional intelligence and a fully functioning brain. I know what it's like to be bullied for being gay, because I know what it's like to be bullied. I know what it's like to be aggressively attacked for being black, because I know what it's like to be aggressively attacked. I know what it's like if the copper's been a cunt to you because you're a black Muslim woman, because I know what it's like when a copper is being a cunt to me. This idea that you have to be the exact thing or else it's irrelevant because you haven't got lived experience is the most reductive, illogical, irrational bullshit argument I've ever heard in my fucking life. I had this out with a bartender once who was telling me how she was bisexual. And I was like, oh, yeah, but I mean, you're in Huntsville. This was in a quite reasonable area of Alabama. And I was like, so it's not that bad, is it? And she was like, well, with respect, you don't know what it's like being bisexual. I was like, I do. What problems do you have to deal with? Stress, aggression, hurt feelings, name calling, insults, bullying. I know what all that feels like. What do you mean? It's like saying, oh, yeah, you've been called a big nose cunt and I've been called a baldy cunt. Well, I'll tell you what, you don't know what it's like being called a baldy cunt because you've only ever been called a big nose cunt. What a load of fucking bullshit. Again, why do I have to say this shit? Why is it left to me? Why doesn't someone like Boris Johnson just get up in Parliament when one of these woke cunts is talking bollocks and just say, have you got a fucking head full of cow shit? Take your head out of your arsehole, you thick bitch. Isn't it? How is that any different? If you're fat, getting called fat tits when you're at school, it's quite offensive. How is it any different from being called gay boy or whatever you are, ethnic minority or whatever woke talking point, ginger, big lips, baldy cunt? They're insults. We all know what it's like to be upset. When I was 8, I remember getting dunked in the snow and booted in the top of my hat. It made me cry and I went home in tears because I got fucking battered and mugged. It's shit. Is it worse if you get battered and mugged but when you're black? Why? It's so fucking stupid. It does my head. It does my head in. So they're not your students, you silly fucking mare. Sorry, they are your students. They're not your family. They're not your mates. If you want to talk about scissoring, Get yourself in the gay bar and fucking you go to town. Bend your fucking girlfriend over the stool and fucking tongue punch her rusty sheriff's badge all day long in the gay bar. I support your right to do it. I've always been pro social liberalism. Get yourself to the lesbian fucking nightclub and fucking scissor all night long, unmolested by the authorities. I support your right to do it. But shut the fuck up talking about it when you're in front of the kids. Because that's my life experience, my lived experience. When I went to school, nobody talked about it. Not once did my headmaster or any of my fucking teachers ever talk about cock, fanny, shagging, noshing, wanking, you name it. Never, ever. Didn't happen. And it's not like I didn't go to school for a long time. I went to school for years, from the age of fucking 5 to the age of 16. 11 years. Not once did it happen. Mrs. A, my maths teacher, she never went, oh, I was fucking noshing my husband off last night. It was fucking mint. Never happened. So shut the fuck up and get back to teaching, you stupid slut.
When it's something that you don't know how people are going to react and you have no control over how they're going to react to the information that you share.
You've got no control over how they're going to react to the information that you share. How do you think we would have reacted if Mrs. A, my maths teacher, just started talking about sucking her husband off in the middle of maths class? You've got no control over how people react to your disgusting, pervy, creepy, fucked up stories, but you have got control over telling them the disgusting, fucked up, creepy, pervy stories. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. If you're doing English, talk about James Joyce. If you're doing maths, talk about fucking calculus. Don't bring up lesing it up, you silly fucking bitch.
And being queer is still a thing that a lot of people are uncomfortable with and scared of. And so they don't understand queer people because they don't see queerness in their communities at all, which is why it's so important to me to be like out in my classroom and be visibly queer. And that's why I wear these earrings and I have pride flags up, because I think having queer teachers helps students to kind of break down and combat stereotypes that they see out in the world.
Seriously, this is what I mean. Again, about turning everyone into a fucking lunatic, right? I've always considered myself to be centrist, socially liberal person. I've never been against the LGBT community. I've always been an atheist. You listen to one of these for fucking 30 seconds and you go, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if the Taliban took over, staked it to the floor outside the fucking tennis courts and had fucking 50 blokes go through her. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Because this is what you've reduced me to. If it's get the children to be mind fucked at the age of 6, or just vote in a bunch of reactionary, hardcore, conservative, Islamist fucking psychopaths and just get them to drill her until her fucking arsehole bleeds, then you go, you know what, maybe I'd prefer that. Maybe I prefer, it'd be shit for her, and I don't like to see it happen because it's very sad. But if you're going to make me pick between one demented adult female or a big classroom of little kids, maybe I'll just go with the fucking lunatics. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll just go with the lunatics. I don't want to. I'm still, my centrism, it's constantly trying to pull me back, going, Matty, don't go down the rabbit hole. But if you're going to make me pick, and we always have to pick, because this wet centrism isn't working, maybe I'll go with Sharia. Allahu Akbar. Maybe I will. If you're going to make me live in a society that's this fucked up, maybe I'll convert, go see Alan in his legendary snack bar and say, you know what, lads, fuck it. Because how bad could it be? How bad could it be? I don't think it'd be that bad. For me, be sound. I'm a bloke, not gay. Fuck it. I'd have more than one mother-in-law. That'd be a bit of pain up the ass. And I'd have to drink cans, you know, sneakily under the duvet. Special brew under the fucking duvet last thing at night. But I mean, if you're going to make me pick between right-wing Islamo-fascism and this shit, maybe I'll just go with that. Allahu Akbar, winner, fucking champ. Because I don't want this happening to little kids. 30 little kids getting mind fucked, or one grown-up adult woman getting gorilla fucked by 30 sandy, dusky men Maybe I'll go with the latter. And it's a crying shame because I didn't want any of this. You look what you did. Look what you did. I wanted a nice centrist, order-based, rules-based, borders secured, blind justice, nice legal system, rules and regulations, nice centrist middle ground. But you're making me pick. Do I want hardcore right-wing nutters or this fucking shit? And I appear to be going towards the, because at least Mussolini got the fucking buses running on time. That's the joke. Even that fat oaf Mussolini could get the fucking buses running on time. If I have to pick between that fat oaf Mussolini or this shit, guess who I'm fucking hanging out with? Why'd you make me do it?
Especially like with me, I don't fit into a lot of like the typical lesbian stereotypes. And so when I come out to people, a lot of them are shocked because I don't look like what they expect, right? And so I think having that exposure and that experience of knowing that you have someone that you're interacting.
What's the stereotype, by the way? Comfortable shoes and calloused fanny lips. If her bacon drapes don't look like a builder's fucking elbows, is that the stereotype? Seems like she's the one stereotyping lesbians. I don't think she doesn't look like a typical lesbian. Well, what does a typical lesbian look like? I've seen loads of fucking, you can't tell by looking. There's two really bonny lasses who come in my logo and the lesbians. What do you mean? You're the one stereotyping here, love. I don't think all lesers have got skinheads and forearms like Popeye. Fuck me.
Interacting with who does belong to the queer community and is a real person is really helpful.
Well, no, okay. Well, that video wasn't fucking helpful. All that video made me do is think, fuck it, start the wood chippers up. Roll out Benito, I'll vote for him. I can't be asked. Like I said, to me, that's logical as well. I'm not embracing far-right politics. But what I'm saying to you is, if you make the general public choose between safeguarding the children, I mean, how easy is it? Oh, Simon's in. Hello, Reverend. How are you doing? Flaps like a hanging lamp. This is what I'm saying. To normal people, there's nothing more precious to them than the children, is there? The kids are everything. Nothing more precious than your children. If you're going to make them pick between the mental and physical safety of their own children or the mental and physical safety of weirdo grown adult lefties, they're going to pick the kids every time. So if you're going to insist on doing this fucking shit, which of course leads to this fucking shit, well, I'm just telling you where it's going to end up. You're going to end up with the general public saying, fuck it. Get the Bible thumping mad cunts out who have always said these people are deviants and degenerates, which I never believed. These people are deviants and degenerates and sex pests, and we should just round them all up and put them in a re-education camp. And people like me will go, well, I never ever wanted to do that. I never wanted to see that. I always thought the LGBT community should be treated with respect. But if you're going to make me pick between the health and safety of millions of children or the emotional well-being of a few 100,000 fucking woke, who knows what the fuck's going on, possibly mentally ill people, everyone's going to pick the kids on. The bairns are sacred. The bairns always win. You pick the child over the adult. That's just human nature. Children are sacred. 27-year-old raving fucking queens with fucking rusty sheriff's badge that's about 4 foot by 6. You're not gonna go with them, are you? You're not gonna worry about it. So yeah, shocking. Lunacy. These people are off the fucking tits. People like me, and I'm sure the Rev, have been saying it for years. Embrace old-fashioned, normal, centre-right conservatism, conservative values, rule of law, order, rules-based order. Enforce the law, close the borders, listen to the reasonable suggestions by the general public, or they will very, very quickly become unreasonable as fuck. And it seems like it's coming. Every 6 months, I take a little step to the right, just a little tiny one. And I'm sure that's the same for the general public as well. So get a fucking grip. And they won't. Nobody listens to me. Nobody. Susa and she was that. Nobody listens to me. So they won't. The Tories have shit the bed. They've gone with the woke, milquetoast, lefty, fucking Remainer twat candidates. So they're totally fucked. It's only going to get worse. What do we keep saying? It's got to get bad before it gets better, and it will. Oh, trust me on that. It fucking will. Right. That's it's going to do me. You've had nearly an hour. You can have that for now, you twats. I will see you all on when? Friday? Yeah, Friday. I'll make a video tomorrow. The world's going to hell, but you have me. Yeah, well, at least until Susan pulls my fucking piebs out one by one, has me raped by 20 Somalian pirates, and then leaves my corpse by the roadside. Until that day, you will have the bootneck to keep you entertained. Thanks for watching. See you all Friday. Toodle fucking pip. Cheers.